Welcome to Daniel Reviews. I'm Daniel Goodwin, and today we are looking at the Alloyman 4x 360 degree laser level. Let's get into it. I've been looking at the Alloyman tool lineup. I've previously reviewed their digital tape measure, which I really liked. I thought it was a very cool way of giving a more accurate reading rather than trying to figure out what little tick mark you are on the tape measure, but to have a digital display of exactly where you're at. I found that to be really cool. And the next thing I'm looking at from Alloyman is this laser level. I have a Milwaukee laser level, so I'm going to be putting it, which I think is outstanding, by the way. So I'll be putting it to the test and seeing which one comes up and which one might fall a little short. As for what you get, I can go through it. Obviously, you get the main unit itself. It is a vertical and horizontal laser level, and we'll go over that in more detail. That's the key part of it. Obviously, you get an instruction manual. This is interesting. This is, of course, it attaches on the bottom of the laser level, but this is magnets here so that you can, secure this to, if you've got some handy metal around that you can attach it to. And then, of course, this allows you to rotate let's see if I can show that, rotate the unit left and right. This allows you to move this part out from the wall. And then this one allows you to adjust the angle of this arm so it will rotate up and down. Let me see if I can demonstrate that real quick. If you can see, it's starting to bend down, right? So you can do that. So you got basically all the different degrees of manipulation through a nice finely tuned dial. You can move each of these in their own direction. It's a very nice piece on its own. And then you have this little fun guy, which is kind of a standalone tripod, which is pretty cool that you can just set it down on something. You do have this here, which will articulate the direction of the unit as well. And then on the unit itself, of course, it's got a screw. So if you've got a tripod, which strongly recommend, like a full-size tripod, obviously you can just screw that into the plate, and that'll do quite well as well. This one, I'm going to have to look this up. It looks like I almost wonder if it goes here. I'm not sure about that. It doesn't seem to make sense, but I'll look into trying to figure out what that part is. This is a handy little platform that can basically raise up. Again, not entirely sure how I would use that, so I might have to look on that, as well as this metal plate that looks like it would screw into something. Those aren't the use cases that I have, so I'm going to stick on a more typical use case. What I've got here is just obviously a basic tripod. I'm sure I got this on Amazon 10 years ago. I'll try to find the link if I can, but I strongly recommend, if you're going to have 360 degree laser level, you're going to want a decent tripod that, with telescopic legs and some adjustments. This is, and they're not expensive. They're 25 bucks, if that, probably get them cheaper. And it's going to be more versatile. You might not always have something metal to hang this, attach this to. This, neat as it is, may not always be appropriate for what you need. So you're going to want a tripod, and that's the case with the Milwaukee as well. But what you can do is usually it comes with a little plate, and you can just attach that plate to your laser unit. Just get that on there real good. And then it just clicks in. Oops, only if I do it right. There you go. And now you got the unit, and you can tighten that up a little bit better than I've got. But now I can take this tripod, I can extend the legs out, I can move it around, I can adjust a lot of different angles with it. It just makes things a lot easier. So this does not come with the unit. I'm just pointing out this is what I would use it on. This is what I use for my Milwaukee laser level as well. So the unit comes with 2 included batteries. They have a digital display that shows how charged they are and how much remaining charge is there. It's probably approximately accurate. I wouldn't depend on it, but it's generally good. They just slide into the back like this until it clicks in. And then you've got a switch here to basically turn it on. It's kind of stiff. It's not necessarily super easy to slide on and off, but all right, now we've got power, and the adjustments are pretty simple. I'll try to one thing I want to demonstrate right now. You hear that beeping? It's telling you that it's not level, which I think is really cool. My Milwaukee doesn't do that. But it's telling you, like, okay, that's not level. It can't be level, right? So now we got to do a little adjustment. Woo! There we go. Now it's telling you it's level, and it's got a little bit of float to it, so it will, you know, automatically level out, which is cool. Okay, I'm not sure how well the camera's going to pick up this laser line, but it is. Oops, I'm bumping it as well. Let me just turn this around. So you can see it. And not quite level, which is fantastic. I love that feature. I mean, it's annoying that it's beeping at me, right? But the fact that it's telling me that it's not level is helpful. That I'm not just trusting that, oh, well, I've got it in position, right? There we go. Very cool. All right, so I've got one horizontal line, and then on the, yeah, you can have two horizontal lines, which I think is kind of helpful as well. Then I can turn on the vert. There we go. So this is when it's got a full 360. I'm probably going to have to adjust the camera angle to show this, or go to a different room. Just want to show here, you got the digital gauge on the back, which is, I don't know if this is catching it, yeah, 75% battery life, which is great. And then from here you can kind of see how it's casting the vertical and horizontal beams. Okay, so we moved out to the garage. It's a little cooler out here, by the way, but I wanted to get a big enough space where I could throw this in a full 360 and see how far out you can still see good, clear, visible green lines from this unit. So this building is 24 by 40. It's not the biggest, but it's a good sized space, and I would think for a lot of people's purposes, it's a good representation of what you'll get with this unit. And you can see, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. So it's casting in the full 360, and I will pan the room in a moment. Excuse the mess, but you can see on the far side I've got two horizontal lines and a vertical one. Then here on the right you can see, hopefully the camera's picking this up. It's a little clearer in person for sure, but you can see I've got vertical line here, there, and horizontal of course continues on around. And then I'm just going to move the camera because I'm blocking the beam actually. You can see over there I've got as well of course the horizontal. I'm going to zoom out, and I've got a vertical line there that's going up, and we'll spin around. And again, I'm blocking some of this, but you can see the line all the way around the room. That's pretty good. I'm in the farthest corner of the garage. I'm a good probably close to 20 feet away from the unit itself, and you can see the beams are still showing very visibly on my post here. I'm kind of blocking this, but it's still got real good visibility even at the farthest part of the corner here. So I think that's very impressive. Okay, so we've seen what this can produce, and I think it's very usable. Again, I think this is a decent sized space. I can see the light in every angle very clearly. It's very good. I'm going to turn on my Milwaukee as well and try to get them somewhat close to each other so we can see which is brighter and if there's differences between them. So that's the next step together. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but you can see, with my eye, I can see a little bit that the Milwaukee is maybe just it's just a little bit more visible, a little bit more bright. I don't know why it's doing that little stutter there. But really both lines are quite clear to me. And yeah, I'm just not seeing a big difference. And the thing I am not seeing, or let me see if I can, as I go down on the concrete, and maybe it's just because I'm holding it, but the Milwaukee is not as bright as I go down compared to the Alloyman. So that was a little surprising. Okay, this is with both units moved about 5 feet away from the wall. So you can see the Milwaukee is thicker and a little brighter, maybe just a little bit when it's this close. But let me just change my mode here. There we go. So this is the Milwaukee there. That's moving. It's, yeah, maybe just a little bit thicker, but I wouldn't, and it is brighter, but when they're close to the wall. But further away, when we were 20 feet away from the wall, I think I like the Alloyman a little better. Okay, that was interesting. I did not expect to find the Milwaukee to be a little, and it's very minor, but it did not perform as well from a greater distance as this one did. So that was a little surprising to me. I will say a couple things. The Milwaukee construction is superior. This one's definitely, it's plastic housing. This one has more of a rubber molded covering around it. I wouldn't recommend dropping either of these. It's just, you know, that they're not designed for that. And that said, I do think perhaps this one would hold up better to a drop than this one, but I wouldn't want to test that out. I'm not going to, you know, purposely do that. Weight-wise, this one's definitely a good bit heavier. Not really mattering because you're going to put it on a tripod or attach it to, you know, a metal stud or whatever you got to attach it to. I will say I like the design of this mount a lot better on the Milwaukee. So they integrated the magnets here, as well as giving you an option to put a tripod underneath it, so you can do both without having to take anything apart. This one, you have to either do the tripod mount or you have to do the magnet, but you can't do both. And I find that, yeah, that's not as good. I feel like there's a way you could have, you know, combined both together, I think. In fact, I don't think it would have even been that hard, honestly. But that's a small quibble. You do get 2 batteries with this, and you get this little fob remote, which I think is interesting. I'm not sure how practical it is. So one of the things that I found with, let's see, with this, and I'll just see if I can demo this real quick. Sorry. So with this remote, well, if you can hang on to it, you can control, you know, whether you turn on the vertical. I think that's showing up, yeah. The horizontal, vertical. You can take them off, right? And you can do the same thing with the horizontal. And allegedly, you can hit the power button, but it doesn't actually turn the power off, as you can see. It still stays on. That's all controlled by this master switch here. So that's kind of weird. You would think that it's just basically the power button just does like the mode. So if you do this flashing, that will help save your battery life a little bit and extend it, you know, rather than keeping a solid light on all the time. But that's all it really controls, is that mode. So you can't completely turn the unit off with this remote. It's neat that they have it though. Okay, I think that's going to wrap up this video. So in conclusion, I'm very impressed with this Alloyman 360-degree laser level. It performed way better than I expected. I mean, I felt like it would work. I just thought there'd be a bigger contrast between the Milwaukee laser level and this one, particularly at, you know, distances. When we went to the garage and in a 40-foot room, I thought this one would show better, and it really didn't. In some ways, it was worse. So I was very impressed with this. I think if you're looking to pick one of these up and you aren't heavily invested in the Milwaukee line, this is a no-brainer. Certainly from a value perspective. Even if you are invested in the Milwaukee line, this is a no-brainer from a value perspective. The only, you know, again, I don't know if it's a negative. The construction quality isn't the same. This would not survive a very big fall, but I wouldn't recommend that for either one. This does come with 2 batteries. I'm not certain on the capacity of those or how long they last. In my testing, they were certainly lasting quite well, but I couldn't tell you that, you know, a battery lasts you 8 hours or 10 hours or however long. I don't know. So there's that, but at least you have 2 of them. So I think probably you'd be fine working these, you know, all day between the 2 batteries, which is great. The little accessories are neat, not necessarily, you know, honestly, most of these I won't use. I'll just put this on a tripod and use that when I'm working, and I think that makes sense. The remote, nice option. Probably won't need that or use that. You just kind of set it on or off. Carrying case is good. I like that. That's very useful, particularly with a sensitive piece of equipment. Overall, very positive. I think I'd wholeheartedly recommend it. In fact, this is probably the most economical way to get into a good quality laser level, and I think this is. I don't think you'll be like, gosh, you know, I wish I wouldn't have spent that money. I think you'll be like, yeah, that's great, and I saved a lot of money. I didn't need to invest in something like this. The only real advantage this one has is the mount. I think this mounting is better if you're going to take use of the magnets and the tripod at the same time. Other than that, this has got everything this one does, and probably just a little better performance, honestly. Well, I hope that was helpful for you. If you're looking to pick one up, I'll include a link at the bottom. A great value. Again, I don't think you'll be disappointed. And keep watching because we've got more videos coming. Until the next video, take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon.